Hello and welcome back to Byron's Adventures. We're currently speaking to Mr. Belgier here, and I will very much hope that we will be able to persuade him. Hello, sir. All right, let's see if we can get him. You know me as a man of honor. That's not going to work. What about this one? There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm slowly learning which conversation options are the best to take, because sometimes the actual speech does tend to convey to me that I should take calculating or I should take charm or one or the other, and sometimes I get them a bit mixed up. Anyway, you know very well that in politics oaths are made and just as easily broken. What about charm? Ooh, charm seems to work well for that one. All right. Got to be very careful here. Charm. There we go. There we go. Nice. One more. One more. I have a strategy to win, and my strategies always work, eventually. Calculating. Woohoo, there we go. Okay, now let's see whether he's actually... Never mind. I was thinking to myself, he's probably going to ask me for some money, isn't he? But no, he actually decided not to, and as a result, we now have Oxhall for free. Yes, we actually got that for free, and I believe we also got this town for free too. Or did we just take it? No, we actually just took that. Never mind. Never mind. But we took Oxhall. Absolutely for free, because I was able to persuade him to join us, and that is fantastic. All right, so we have a number of other things going on here. We have Dirthart's party. He's running around being a bit of a nuisance, and I'm actually looking around at some other people here. Now here's the main problem. I was actually pursuing a whole bunch of vassals in the area, and they all decided to converge on Dirthart's army. I'm hopeful that I will be able to... Ooh, here we go, here we go. I can actually speak to Ordric. He seems to be not really that aware of what is about to befall him. Yes, a silver-tongued devil, no doubt. And that is exactly who Byron is, or at least that's who he's attempting to be. He's probably, you know, not very good at it, let's face it. Sometimes, at least. So let's hope that we'll actually be able to get there and maybe scare him into not going into... not going into the town. We'll see if we can actually get him to come out. He might decide to, but he might just stay in there for the foreseeable future. Nope, never mind. He's actually coming out. He's chasing me? Did you see that? He was actually chasing me for a second there. That has got to be probably one of the most ill-advised actions that he could have possibly taken, but okay. Perfectly happy to go in here and try to persuade him to join us. Okay, now this is going to be a bit more difficult, I think. Hello there. All right, so once again, charm. 50-50 chance. Sometimes that's just not going to work. Charm? Yeah, okay. So apparently charm doesn't really work very well on Aldrich, perhaps. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah, charm works okay here because it's a 95% chance, but there's no way I'm going to be able to do anything here, so I will just do calculating. As you can see, there's just nothing going to happen there. That is kind of unfortunate. We could have definitely tried the critical success, but I kind of felt, hey, you know what? I'd like to go for more of a more likely thing to happen, because every single time I've done that 68% chance critical success thing, almost, I don't know, maybe 70-80% of the time, it always kind of never really works. Sometimes. Sometimes it always never really works. Sometimes. Maybe. Yes. You see how many contradictions I can fit into one sentence? Yeah, a super hardcore amount, right? Yes, absolutely. No one can beat me on contradictions, that's for sure. You know, they might be able to beat me with a sword, or a paper sword. Probably a paper sword, right? Yeah, probably a paper sword. Oh, that was nice. Nice hit, Mr. Byron. Very good work. I was actually kind of surprised that he was able to hit that guy, considering these Vlandian knights usually have some very good armor. Very surprising indeed that we were able to kill him in one hit. He must have taken some damage initially from other units, no doubt, right? Surely. And I think, actually, wait a minute, did I, I'm not entirely sure if I showed my weapon. I think I did show my weapon, because I think someone was actually asking what spear Byron is actually using. And I would like to definitely show you that. So I suppose what we'll do is after this, I'll just show you very quickly. It's a pretty standard weapon. It's nothing too crazy. And it's, personally, I think the versatility of the weapon is the main draw to it, because it's not particularly good in any single facet of its stats. It's basically good in terms of being able to be used as a two-handed slashing weapon. It can be used as a spear. It can be used, well, not with a couch lance. That's a bit of a sad thing that it doesn't have any kind of couch lancing capability, so it's not that versatile in that respect. But otherwise, it has a lot of different uses that you can definitely utilize. But as I've said, you could probably get something to more fit what you personally like, and that's the cool thing. Actually, that's the cool thing about Bannerlord. They do make it so that most of the weapons available are fitting a certain kind of play style, and I actually really like that. Anyway, we're just going to let him go. As you can see, he actually has pretty bad relation with us anyway. So I suppose even if we were able to persuade him, which I think was probably the reason why we failed most of those chances there, because our relation with him is just so bad. Not entirely sure how big an effect the relation actually has, but I think you can kind of safely assume that it is a pretty significant one. Anyway, there is actually an army going on here. Look at that. Garrisons is running all over the place with 851 units. Very cool to see that. I'm actually going to stomp Death Art into the ground a little bit here. I'm sure he's not going to be too pleased about this. Wow, do you see how many... What is going on here with all these bandits? Look at this. This is just absolutely crazy. Where are they going? Do they have somewhere to be? They probably have like a job interview or something like that. They're probably like... I need to work in this office. I used to be a sea raider, and you know, I'd like to do this job, whatever it may be. Maybe answering a phone or something, and then they go, "Less talking, more raiding," or something along those lines when they answer the phone, and then they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry." You know, old habits die hard, and things like that. You know, can you imagine? Yeah, it's just hilarious. Okay, so let's put my infantry into a shield wall here. We're going to have to be a little bit more strategic this time around. We can't just literally charge in any old how, because, of course, we do have many more enemies to deal with.
Raiders, hear me! They're moving!
Alright, so let's see what we can do here with our cavalry. This is actually one of those battlefields that I actually very much like. Let me see if I can just shift in my chair real quick, because I need to make sure that I'm in proper position, otherwise my back is going to start hurting. Yeah, isn't that great? Okay, well, otherwise, let's get my horse archers and my cavalry into a nice flanking position. I like this battlefield a lot because it has a variety of different environmental hazards. You know, it's got trees, it's got a little bit of mountainous terrain, and it's got flat battlefields as well, so, you know, cavalry are generally going to be very effective. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so, yes, I've actually forgotten to show you my weapon, haven't I? Yes, I have. Well, never mind. I think I probably did show it in a previous episode. So, yeah, maybe I did. But it's basically a weapon that is used by the Empire units for the most part. I think it's used by the Menavlions or whatever they're called. And that's basically what the weapon is actually called as well. So, yeah, but anyway, the point is that I personally feel like any weapon that you can buy or craft even, because obviously we've been doing a lot of crafting with the Botanian Smith series, and it has been going very well, actually. We've been able to create some pretty cool looking weapons, and they've been doing very nice for us. Unfortunately, I've got to be a bit careful here. My horse is, for some reason, very, very easy to kill. I'm not entirely sure why that is, to be honest. I'm using one of the most powerful horses that we could currently acquire, and I also have some extremely heavy armor on as well. Oh, nice head poking right there. Very good. Very good, Mr. Byron. Very, very good. Okay, let's tell my infantry to charge in here. We are having some big difficulties now because they've actually made their way towards us, and that has definitely caused a bit of problem. Thankfully, we seem to be interrupting the enemy's attack quite significantly here. The crossbowmen, of course, are one of the main threats that we're going to face against the Vlandians, apart from their cavalry, of course. And if we can just disrupt them from attacking us for the most part, then I think we should have a relatively easy time of things. As you can see, they have a lot of Vlandian sharpshooters. I think that's probably Dirthart's influence right there because, well, We know him to be an extremely rich fellow, and he's probably going to be able to pay the best trainers in the land to level up his crossbowmen. But there you go. I believe that is indeed a victory. We lost 11 units total, which is actually very nice. Not bad at all, if I do say so myself. And a good amount of renown. I'm not entirely sure why I even mentioned the renown any further, because let's face it, we don't need it anymore. We don't need it anymore, and it doesn't actually, as far as I'm aware at least, doesn't actually increase our party capacity any further than it already has, because we are, of course, clan tier 6. So it's not the be-all and end-all stat anymore. So I'm going to release Death Art just because he is kind of silly. You know, he's kind of silly. He tends to go in places that are not particularly effective, and that in turn actually means that we have a bit of an advantage because we kind of expect him to make poor decisions, and as a result we can prey upon those and take him out, just like we did here. And then we can reduce their armies back to basically 0. Anyway, let's take a look at my weapon, finally. There it is. That is my weapon. It's got 39 cutting damage, 42 piercing damage. The length is not that good. The handling is actually pretty decent, in my opinion, for a polearm. And that's partially the reason why I really like it, because it makes it a lot easier to handle in close quarters situations, even though close quarter situations are kind of difficult anyway. So probably don't want to get involved in anything like that. Okay, let's actually just take a quick look at Uzlav here. Is he the leader? He is. Aha. Guzid, leave him alone, sir. Leave him alone, please. I would very much like to speak to him, see if we can get him. No, don't go. Ah, yeah, that's problematic. Okay, I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to help him out. We're just going to do an auto-resolve real fast, get him dead, and then we'll have to let him go. Unfortunately, I really wanted to speak to him because getting the lake rats to join us would be pretty fantastic, at least for free. Although I have 1.59 million now, so it's not actually necessary for me to really quibble about, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000 per week. But if you recall, we did have a pretty significant problem with our money previously in the series until we got rid of those mercenary companies working for us. Anyway, Faron has actually been taken prisoner by the Botanians. Very surprising indeed. Faron is usually a very level-headed fellow, and it's kind of interesting to assume that he got himself taken prisoner, but oh well, never mind. Okay, let's have a look at these guys. Bothero is actually the leader. This is perfect. There he is, right over there. Okay, Guzid, you can just leave him alone. You can leave this one alone, at least. I think this guy's going to be pretty fast as well, which is kind of annoying. I think he's moving at 3.2 right now. We're moving at 3.4, so I should be able to catch him up. Yeah, easy. All right, get him. Get him. Speak to him very incredibly charmingly. That's what we're going to try and do at the very least. Okay, so let's speak to him, see what he says. Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to do this, and we'll see if it works. That's the thing. I didn't want to use charm, mainly for the fact that it is not a charm option. That's the main problem there. Yes, okay. This guy's never going to join us. Yeah. I mean, unless I get a critical... No, even if I get a critical success on the last one, it's not going to make any difference. Yeah, I probably should have just gone for the safe option, I suppose. But as you've seen, the persuasion conversations are kind of a hit or miss kind of thing, because it is just generally down to RNG. You can't really do much about it. Like one of the other times that we tried it, it's going to be either a foregone conclusion that, you know, someone will join you, or it is just going to be a huge fail. That's pretty much how it goes. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There's Aldrich. I want to speak to you, Aldrich. Wait a minute. Didn't I already speak to Aldrich? I think I already did. And I failed to persuade him, so we'll see what happens here, actually. I would like to speak to Ekarand. Is Jacid actually someone? I actually don't remember this guy whatsoever. He's the leader. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hello. Oh, there's also Ekarand. I need to speak to Ekarand as well. And he is the leader of his own clan too, so it would be good to persuade him if at all possible. But we're going to speak to this guy first. There's Uzlav as well. Uzlav has just come out. He's also the leader of the Lake Rats, so that would be perfect. Let's actually do a little bit of manual moving around, because I don't want him to escape, because generally the faster parties are very good at getting out of tight situations. Anyway, let's have a look here. All right, this is much better. Is it? Is it though? Ooh, close one. Okay, I'm very dubious about using that option. Okay, let's do charm. Nice. Okay, that was good. And then we have one more. Do charm. No. Okay, we've got one more. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. Yes, perfect. 94% chance. How can you say no? And he has joined us. Great. Okay, that is really nice. I'm actually wondering now if he has brought anything over to our side. Did he bring anything? I actually don't know. Wow. This is actually kind of crazy how we have spread out from Azerai territory. If you remember, like, what, 10, 15 episodes ago, we were in some pretty difficult situations, and all of a sudden we've just swept across because, well, we know exactly what's going on here. Okay, so, yeah, I actually still did not do this, by the way. I still did not do this, as you can see. We just have a couple of focus points here and there to spend, and these things are not really going to make too much difference because we have... Oh, well, this is actually going to make a bit of a difference, isn't it? We should probably do this. And we should probably do some pole arms as well. There we go. We'll just increase... I think social for Barney would probably be kind of useful because charm skill is going to be really, really good for him. Anyway, let's just continue onward. And I do need to go to my party screen here as well. Oh, look at this. Garrios is actually attempting to take Dunglanis. That is perfect. That's one of the harder towns for us to potentially take. And of course, while I am dealing with the Vlandians, I'm very much hoping that my other vassals will be able to deal with defending against the Batanians and of course taking things from them as well. That is going to make so much difference to our efficiency. Being able to capture all of this is going to be crazy good. And of course, the main thing that I'm wanting to do is gain faction strength. And gaining faction strength is mostly down to persuading vassals to join you. And of course, you know, fiefs and things like that. But to a greater extent, in my opinion, having vassals under your command, very, very important. Alright, so there's Panelia actually being attacked by this guy. We're going to actually go and see if I can... There we go. Get in there. Just to do an auto-resolve, just so that I can get some relation with him. There we go, a little bit of relation with him. And we're also going to potentially have... it seems like I'm not able to, actually. Seems like I'm not able to speak to her, unfortunately. So it seems like he took her prisoner, which is probably pretty bad, because minor factions you can't trade with, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, as you can see, you can't trade with them whatsoever. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't trade her as a prisoner and then let her go, because that's what I would, that's what I would have liked to have done. Okay, so let's have a look at Ovagos real quick. Ovagos, hello, Mr. Ovagos. You absolutely hate me because I executed Achios, the one and only execution that I have ever done in Byron's playthrough, because, let's face it, we were getting a bit frustrated with the amount of people that were leaving our faction previously, and Achios was one of the biggest betrayers, because we gave him 1.3 million or something like that. 1.3 million gold, and he decided to leave, basically, what was it, like 10 seconds later or something like that, upon us successfully persuading him. So yeah, that was pretty harsh, but we're going to speak to Ovagos anyway, if I can actually even catch up to him. We might not even be able to. And it seems like Ovagos has actually just joined the Khuzait Khanate, which is hilarious. It seems like he joined them while he was running away from me, so I guess we're going to see what we can do here. I have a proposal. Wow, you've got 2 point... Wow, okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything here. I'm going to give him a gift, but I don't think that... No, that's not going to do anything, of course. Okay, so what do you think of your liege? I would like for you to join me. Charm? Ooh, okay. Charm seems to be working quite nicely for us so far, so I might continue to go for that. Let's have a look. Calculating. Oh, yes. Okay, calculating seems to work on that one quite nicely. Let's do charm once again. And one more. What are we going to do? Calculating. Whew. Okay, I'm actually kind of surprised that that worked. Is he going to join us? Okay, how much does he want? What do you bet he wants? A huge amount? Actually, not even that much. How much is the price of your friend's life? Apparently 403,000. Okay, I guess I'm actually going to be pretty happy with this. Even though he's not going to be bringing anything over except himself. Which I suppose is fine. Oh, wait. No, don't attack him, Jacid. Why are you doing that, Mr.? Never mind. It's actually not a big deal, I suppose. But, can I speak to him? Oh, yes. I can actually speak to him. Okay, that was fantastic. I was actually a bit worried about... Oh, well, never mind. I thought that I hadn't actually attempted to persuade him in quite some time, but maybe I did it earlier on in this episode. Did I? Wow. If I did that and I forgot, don't even talk to me about that. My memory was just absolutely shot. Apparently, absolutely shot by some kind of crossbow bolt, no doubt. Anyway, Praven, let's go and help him out. As you can see, look at that. Camnon is actually attempting to take Praven right now, so this is going to be super good for us. And who else is over here? Shamir. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, yeah. I guess we will just go and join him. Yeah, I mean, doing this is kind of problematic. I think if we... I don't really know. I think if I start losing a huge amount of my food, then I will probably do something different. I mean, we could just do an auto-resolve. As you can see, the enemy has a huge amount of ballistas. I've always said that, in my opinion, ballistas are probably the best defensive structure just for their DPS. Just for the fact that they can shoot so incredibly fast. And that does make a pretty significant difference. But the amount of units they actually have in the garrison here is pretty crazy. Okay, I guess we're actually just going to go for an auto-resolve. I don't really... Do I want... That's the thing. He doesn't have the walls down. Look at this. The walls are basically not damaged. And we're going to take significant casualties if we do that. So we're just going to go for an auto-resolve here and see what happens. How many people am I actually losing? Because that's all that matters right now. It's basically, that's the only thing that I really need to worry about. Where? Oh, there we go. I've lost 23 so far. That's actually perfectly acceptable in my opinion. And look at how many kills we've gotten. Wow, 600. That is craziness. Craziness. Okay, so let me just scroll all the way back up. Yeah, as you can see, literally not even that much renown. Just for the pure fact that there's just nothing really here. There aren't really any super powerful units or anything like that. And look at how, wow, just an insane amount of prisoners. Gonna let those guys get taken by our vassals if they want to. We'll take all of the loot as well. And there you go. Praven has now been taken. And I will be giving it to Camnon if he's available. No, he's not available. What about this guy? Apparently everyone wants it to go to this fellow? Not entirely sure why that is, considering Jacid right here doesn't have anything. And this guy has 2 castles already, so I'm going to actually give it to Jacid. I know that this guy probably is not going to very much appreciate that, but it's the fair thing to do, in my opinion. No? I think that's fair, at least. Okay. So, what do they have? They just have Osterkan, which only has 1,000 units there, which is actually not that good, and Galend only has 1,286. It's looking pretty good so far. Oh, Ekerand. Yes, that's also someone that I would like to persuade to join me, so I will hopefully be able to engage him in just a second. And Liena apparently won the tournament at Praven. That's actually hilarious, considering it is aggressive to her now. But it's also funny because that's Barney's wife, And on another note, that was, I think, the first town that Barney actually got given by Mr. Dirthart. Because, Dirthart is not particularly generous, so it's kind of amazing to assume that he gave him anything, to be honest. Anyway, let's see if I can maybe do something here. We might have an opportunity. I'm just going to need to head him off a little bit. Be a bit careful about how we do this. There we go, nice. Okay, perfect. So, hello there, I would like to speak to you. Oh, did I actually persuade him before in this episode, or did I do it beforehand somewhere else? Maybe I did it beforehand somewhere else. Oh well, never mind. I guess we can just weaken him up a little bit. And there we go. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I actually thought that I got him before. Strange. Oh well, never mind. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. And I think you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to take a look at my army screen real quick. Let's have a look. All right, everyone is actually looking really, really nice. Oh, I like the fact that the display on the right side shows you how close they are to completing a raid. That's actually very cool. Okay, so as you can see, Joron is walking on with an absolutely insane army size to besiege Ustakol Castle. I'm not entirely sure where that even is, but I would assume it is probably in Batanian territory. It's probably nearby here. No? Oh, no, wait. Wow, it's actually all the way in the north. This is actually pretty cool for them to do that. I would prefer if they would take Varcheg, of course, but that's probably got many, many more defenders for them to deal with. Alright, so before we end this episode off here, I'm actually just going to take a look at the diplomacy. Wow, yeah. You can see our faction strength right now. Our faction strength is just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Look at Batania right now as well. They only have 2,000 total strength. Vlandia only has 1,000 total strength. And the Khuzait, they're behind us now. Oh yes, they are behind us by 3,000 faction strength. So when inevitably those two sides go against each other, it's going to be an epic war of insane proportions. Really is. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.